Okay, so Google just dropped one of its biggest AI announcements of the year, and it all revolves around one name, Gemini 3. Now, this isn't just some minor update. We're talking about a complete overhaul of their entire AI ecosystem. So today, we're going to break down exactly what this means for you.
This is the big, really ambitious question Google is putting out there. What if AI wasn't just about answering questions, but about actually building stuff with you? I mean, imagine you have an idea for an app, a story, a business, and you have an AI partner that can help you create it step by step. That's the dream they're selling here. So let's dig into how they plan to do it.
The evolution of Gemini has been incredibly fast. So version 1 was all about understanding the world, looking at images, reading text, listening to audio. Version 2 learned to reason and use digital tools, which is the foundation for what we call AI agents, basically AIs that can do complex, multi-step tasks for you. And now Gemini 3 is here to roll all of that power into one single model. All right, so here's our game plan. We'll start with the big picture, then we'll properly meet the Gemini 3 model. After that, we'll see how it's upgrading the Google apps you use every day, check out the new toys for developers, and finally, we'll talk about what this all means for the future. First up, a new era of intelligence. And listen, Google isn't just calling this an update. They're framing this as their next big chapter. And this quote from CEO Sundar Pichai really nails it. The key phrases to focus on are more general and helpful AI and bring any idea to life. This is a huge signal that they're shifting from AI as just a search engine to AI as a creative partner. And that vision, right there, is what's driving everything else we're going to talk about. Okay, next section. Let's get into the core technology itself and meet Gemini 3. So what is it exactly? Well, Google's official line is that it's their most intelligent model that combines all of Gemini's capabilities. And that word combines is so important here. They're not just tweaking one feature. They're basically merging years of different research projects into a single powerful brain. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. It all starts with number 1, understand. It uses all that multimodal learning from the first version to just grasp what's going on. Then, step 2, reason. It uses the logic and tool-using skills from the second version to think about that information. And finally, you combine those two things to create, and that's the magic ingredient for bringing any idea to life.
Okay, this is where it stops being theoretical and starts getting real for most of us. How is Gemini 3 actually going to change the Google tools we rely on every single day? Let's take a look.
The main Gemini app is getting a massive intelligence boost from Gemini 3 Pro. That means new advanced features, especially if you're a Google Workspace customer. But the most futuristic, almost sci-fi part of this whole thing is the introduction of something totally new called a generative UI. And yeah, I know what you're thinking. What on earth is a generative UI? It's a brand new term, and it's absolutely central to this whole new vision for user experience. Okay, think of it this way. Instead of a normal app with buttons and menus that are always in the same place, a generative UI is an interface that the AI builds for you, right on the spot. It's like having a personal assistant who redesigns the app in real time to give you the exact tools you need for whatever you're doing. It's way more dynamic and, honestly, way more intuitive. And this whole new approach is about to completely transform Google's most iconic product, search. I mean, this slide says it all. We're moving away from the classic list of blue links, where you search for answers, and into a whole new AI mode, where search is a back-and-forth conversation with an AI that helps you figure things out. It's a massive shift. So far, we've focused a lot on us, the users, but this launch also has a huge piece for the people who actually build the software we use. And that brings us to the new tools for builders and developers. And they're getting a ton of new toys. Google Antigravity is the new headquarters for building that agentic software we talked about, apps where AIs can go off and do complex jobs all on their own. We're also seeing Gemini plugged directly into tools developers already use, like Firebase and Android Studio. And, this is crucial, there's a GenUI SDK, which lets developers build those cool, dynamic, generative interfaces themselves. Okay, we've covered the model, the user experience, the developer tools. For our last section, let's just zoom out and put all these pieces together so we can understand what really happened here. 12. Just let that number sink in. That's how many different announcements Google published on launch day. This was not a single product release. This was a coordinated, full-scale deployment of AI across their entire company.
from search to Android to their biggest business customers.
So here's the bottom line. The most important thing to get is that we're not just looking at a better AI model. This is the official launch of a completely interconnected AI ecosystem. It's a platform that's designed to weave Gemini into literally every part of the Google experience, from how you find information to how the next generation of apps get built.
And that brings us full circle, right back to where we started. Google has put all the tools on the table: a smarter model, more dynamic apps, more powerful platforms. So the final question they're leaving us with is a really personal one. With AI this powerful, what idea will you bring to life?